My name's Colonel Jeff Pixley. I'm the commander of basic military training. Thank you for joining the United States Air Force. Thank you for raising your hand and promising to give of yourself, to sacrifice, to do something that most Americans never do. You probably want to know how to be successful in basic military training. Fight for yourself. Don't give up on yourself, and when you're about to, work with each other, lean on each other, because you'll be successful when you're a team.
Remember why you are here. Remember those people that came before you. Everything that you do needs to come with a passion and a vigor that is unmatched.
When you leave basic military training, you're going to understand how to wear the uniform. You're going to understand what it is to live by the core values, and you're going to know the value of your teammates. If you live up to my expectations, you'll be here 7 weeks from today, and you'll be about to graduate.
Technical Sergeant J.R. Robbins. Flight 708, led by Technical Sergeant Jermaine Ramsey. Academics Excellence Flight, Flight 709, led by Technical Sergeant Jerry Sanders, Jr. Flight 710, led by Staff Sergeant Caleb Jones. Flight 711, led by Master Sergeant Jonathan Ridley. Flight 712, led by Staff Sergeant DeJohn Ross. In the center of the parade field is the Color Guard, led by Technical Sergeant Nina Cephalou. The Drum and Bugle Corps, Flight 719, led by Technical Sergeant Logan Powles. The flights selected to carry our national, state, and territorial flags are Flights 706 and 707, led by Staff Sergeant Griffin Bryan. Flight 713, led by Technical Sergeant Erica Fitzgerald. PT Excellence Flight, Flight 714, led by Technical Sergeant Xavier Clark. Flight 715, led by Technical Sergeant Colin Gendron. Flight 716, led by Technical Sergeant Eddie Wilson. Flight 718, led by Technical Sergeant Joseph Pullins. At this time, please find a place to sit. Thank you, and enjoy today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our official party. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Gwynn.
Good morning. I invite you to join with me in prayer. Almighty God, we pause and thank you for this joyous occasion that brings us together as airmen, leaders, families, and friends. We celebrate on this special day of achievement these airmen of the 320th Training Squadron. We recognize the sacrifices made to become members of the world's greatest air force, the separation from family and loved ones, the weeks of training, the physical demands, all that brought them here ready today. May these Gators always live with honor, knowing that you can't stop the rock. We recognize that these airmen did not arrive here on their own, and so we thank you for their family and friends who have equally made sacrifices to make this day possible. We offer our gratitude of the men and women of the 320th Training Squadron who have invested countless hours into these airmen. Gracious God, we ask for your blessing upon these families, friends, instructors, and staff who have made the investment on these airmen today. Today, we honor them for their willingness to commit their lives to promote and defend the many freedoms of this great nation. Loving God, fill these young airmen with the spirit of wisdom, understanding, and fidelity. And as they take their first steps on this parade ground, may they do so holding fast to our core values of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Lord, for these men and women about to graduate and for all military personnel around the world, we ask in the words of the prophet that the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you grace. It's in your most holy name we do pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Basic Military Training Graduation Ceremony. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the host and reviewing official for today's ceremony, the Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, Colonel Jeff Pixley, accompanied by his wife, Andrea. The Senior Enlisted Leader, Air Force Basic Military Training, Chief Master Sergeant Dan Anderson, accompanied by his wife, Stephanie. From the graduating squadron, the Commander, 320th Training Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Gerald Fensterer, accompanied by his wife, Gina. The Acting Senior Enlisted Leader, 320th Training Squadron, Master Sergeant Diego Veliz. Also in attendance with us today, the Commander, 37th Training Wing, Colonel Lauren Corshane. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 737th Training Group is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Our Commander of Airmen is Technical Sergeant Andre Williams. Colonel Jeff Pixley will review today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. Over the last 7.5 weeks, the men and women before you have transformed from civilians into motivated, disciplined warriors with a foundation to serve in the most powerful military the world has ever known. Once they leave basic military training, they will continue on to technical training to learn the skills needed to perform in one of 118 specialties. They will then move on to serve at one of 84 installations around the globe or work directly with our sister services. As they move on to technical training, they will continue to focus on adapting to military requirements, achieving occupational proficiency, and learning how to be highly productive members of the armed forces. These men and women will prepare for increased responsibilities and must ensure they are trained, qualified, and ready to deploy and operate in an expeditionary environment. These graduates are the future of our national defense and will pave the way for the generations that will follow. 737th Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland, Texas. Subject, Commander's Excellence. The Commander's Excellence streamer is awarded to Flight 708 for their significant accomplishments demonstrating teamwork, excellence, and esprit de corps. During the period of 12 September 2022 to 28 October 2022. Signed, Jeffrey Pixley, Colonel, United States Air Force. The Commander's Excellence flight was led by Technical Sergeant Jermaine Ramsey and Technical Sergeant John Shields. Of the hundreds of thousands of American citizens that enter the workforce each year, less than 1% have joined the ranks of the United States military. The graduates before you have reached a milestone in their military journey and will require your continued support to assist them in their future endeavors.
Just give me points. So
Yeah. So we usually don't have this many tables.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates passing in review today represent a portion of the 35,000 men and women who will complete basic military training this year. The 737th Training Group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the world's greatest Air Force. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the Airmen and Guardians. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Armed Forces. We would like to direct your attention to our national, state, and territorial flags. As these flags pass in review, please stand and render the appropriate courtesies for our national flag. As a reminder, military members and veterans in uniform will stand at attention and render a salute. We ask that our civilian guests stand and place their right hand over their heart. Veterans and military members not in uniform may either render a salute or place their right hand over their heart. Once the flags have passed, please be courteous of others and be seated in order to allow all of our guests the opportunity to view the flights as they pass in review.
Can you read this? Only to right here to conflict.
As our graduates turn left onto the bomb run to pass in review, they will march over the Enlisted Heroes Walk. These men and women recognized on the pavers have been awarded our nation's highest honors, representing heroic and unselfish actions as members of the United States military in armed conflict. Today's graduation ceremony is led by 3 distinguished military training instructors. The commander of Airmen for today's ceremony is Technical Sergeant Andre Williams, the 2022 Master Military Training Instructor Blue Rope of the Year. The military officer is Technical Sergeant Stephen Shorter, the 2022 Military Training Instructor Trainer of the Year. And the adjutant is Technical Sergeant Addie Emil, the 2022 Military Training Instructor Rookie of the Year. Each underwent a rigorous series of assessments to earn these prestigious awards, and collectively, they represent the evolution of a military training instructor in BMT. This morning's ceremony marks the first time in BMT history where the Blue Rope, Trainer, and Rookie of the Year have led a parade together. Now passing in review, the Commander of Airmen, Technical Sergeant Andre Williams, Master Military Training Instructor, hometown, Bladenboro, North Carolina. Band Flight, Flight 719, led by Technical Sergeant Logan Powles, Master Military Training Instructor, hometown, Sheffield, Iowa. Flight 704, led by Technical Sergeant Gerald Baldwin, Military Training Instructor Trainer, hometown, Southern Pines, North Carolina. Flight 705, led by Technical Sergeant J.R. Robbins, Military Training Instructor, hometown, St. Robert, Missouri. Commander's Excellence Flight, Flight 708, led by Technical Sergeant Jermaine Ramsey, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Blakely, Georgia. Academic Excellence Flight, Flight 709, led by Technical Sergeant Jerry Sanders Jr., Military Training Instructor Trainer, hometown, King George, Virginia. Flight 710, led by Staff Sergeant Caleb Jones, Military Training Instructor, hometown, San Antonio, Texas. Flight 711, led by Master Sergeant Jonathan Ridley, Military Training Instructor, hometown, LaSalle, Illinois. Flight 712, led by Staff Sergeant Dejan Ross, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Jacksonville, Florida. The Color Guard, led by Technical Sergeant Nina Cephalou, military training instructor, hometown, Aurora, Illinois. The flights selected to carry our national, state, and territorial flags. Flights 706 and 707, led by Staff Sergeant Griffin Bryan, military training instructor, hometown, Traverse City, Michigan. Flight 713, led by Technical Sergeant Erica Fitzgerald, military training instructor, hometown, Bridge City, Texas. PT Excellence Flight, Flight 714, led by Technical Sergeant Xavier Clark, military training instructor, hometown, Norfolk, Virginia. Flight 715, led by Technical Sergeant Colin Gendron, military training instructor, hometown, Kingsford, Michigan. Flight 716, led by Technical Sergeant Eddie Wilson, master military training instructor, hometown, Columbus, Ohio. Flight 717, led by Technical Sergeant Ryan Gear, military training instructor trainer, hometown, Oneida, New York. Flight 718, led by Technical Sergeant Joseph Pullins, military training instructor, hometown, Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Traditionally, the armed forces are expected to exemplify respect for the nation. Special ceremonies have been established to bestow honor upon the flag and other national symbols, upon recipients of awards and decorations, and upon national dignitaries. Such ceremonies are usually included in parades, reviews, and similar formations in which large groups of military personnel participate. On special occasions in basic military training, the military training instructors assemble in mass formation as a sign of recognition and respect. It is the highest honor the MTI Corps can bestow upon an individual or group of individuals. Today, the MTIs have assembled to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Military Training Instructor Association's founding. For the first time in BMT history, the MTI Mass is comprised of both current and former military training instructors who have served in BMT over the past 5 decades. Ladies and gentlemen, now approaching the reviewing stand is the backbone of the basic military training mission, the military training instructors. These men and women are being led by Chief Master Sergeant Retired John J. Pavey Jr., President of the Military Training Instructor Association and the 1987 BMT Blue Rope of the Year. He currently resides in Sylvan, North Carolina, and his hometown is Richmond, Virginia. The mass guidon bearer is Master Sergeant Jared Hasty Milton, military training instructor, hometown, Brooklyn, New York. The military training instructors have trained millions of airmen at Air Force Basic Military Training for the past 75 years. In recognition of the sacrifices made by all MTIs from all generations, we offer this symbolic salute to all MTIs, past, present, and future. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing and singing of the Air Force song. Thank you. You may be seated. Musical support for this morning's ceremony has been provided by the graduates from Flight 719, performing under the direction of Master Sergeant Nathan Held, military training instructor, hometown, Raleigh, North Carolina. These individuals have been hand-selected to perform for today's ceremony. In addition to completing all basic training syllabus and training requirements, Drum and Bugle Corps members commit additional training hours for practice throughout their weeks of training. Their extra effort and commitment demonstrate teamwork and the Air Force's core value, service before self. With each Drum and Bugle Corps performance, they honor the long-standing tradition of live music at formal military ceremonies. We would like to take a moment to congratulate all of our honor graduates as well as their families. Basic military training honor graduates distinguish themselves by being ranked in the top 10% of all graduates in their class. This exceptional personal dedication, integrity, service before self, and sustained excellence they displayed throughout basic military training earned them this outstanding distinction. As the flights march forward for the oath of enlistment, we would like to thank all of the families and friends who are here in support of those graduating today. Your words of encouragement help motivate these graduates through 7.5 weeks of basic military training. On behalf of the United States military and basic military training, we extend our thanks to the many families and friends of America for your support of our mission and the greatest air power the world has ever known. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Dan Anderson will now come forward and address our graduating class.
Hey, don't Airmen look amazing? Yeah, let them know how much you love them right now. All right, so there's a couple groups of individuals that I want to go ahead and recognize today. First and foremost, I want to thank all of our guests, all of our family members, all of our friends that are in attendance today. Thank you. Thank you for sending us your sons and daughters. Thank you for sending us your husbands and wives, your brothers and sisters, your mothers, your fathers. Thank you. But most importantly, thank you for trusting us. Over the last 7.5 weeks, they've undergone a transformation that has fundamentally altered the trajectory of their lives. You saw it in them yesterday, did you not? Yeah, they're different. They stand a little taller now. They stand a little prouder. They have more confidence. That's part of what basic military training is all about. So thank you for being here today to support your loved ones. Another group of individuals that I want to thank are the military training instructors. The military training instructors are the ones who are tasked with transforming civilians into United States Airmen. And today we have the added benefit of having prior military training instructors return home to BMT for our annual MTI week that we have. So I'd like all military training instructors, past and present, to stand and be recognized. I also want to recognize the veterans in attendance today. If you're a veteran, go ahead and stand up. Yeah. Thank you. You heard it yesterday at the end of the Airman's Coin Retreat ceremony, and you're going to hear them recited again today, but in our Airman's Creed, we talk about a tradition of honor and a legacy of valor. You are the living embodiment of our tradition of honor, and these airmen right here, they're your legacy, and you should be proud of that. And now, for the most important group of individuals that are with us today, our newest airmen. 7.5 weeks ago, you came from all parts of the country, and in some instances, different parts of the world. We sat in your 0-week briefing, and I told you that BMT is not hard work. BMT is just a lot of work. The hard part is learning how to be away from your traditional support systems, from being cut off from your families, essentially, from being cut off from the outside world, being thrown into a new and unique environment, and being forced to rely on and learn how to work alongside individuals who are very different than you. And the faster that you learn how to do that, the easier your transformation to becoming a United States Airman has become. And here you stand today. Here you stand today. I want you to think back just for a second before you came into the military. I want you to think of a Veterans Day parade or a Memorial Day parade where you saw military members and veterans in uniform. And I want you to think about what it is that how you classified them in your mind, what word descriptions you would use to describe them. It's probably words like honor and professionalism and devotion and pride and discipline and motivation. Here's the kicker though. All your family and friends that are sitting in this crowd right now, that's how they now view you. It's a pretty awesome responsibility, but it's one that I know that you're willing to take on and ready to take on. Yesterday, Master Sergeant Belize, in his remarks, talked about how what we have done here is give you a foundation. Everything that we've done in BMT has been foundational. It is your job now to take everything we taught you and to carry it forward. When you go to tech training, when you go to the first duty station, you're going to have a lot more autonomy. You're going to have a lot more freedom to go ahead and make individual decisions. But remember this. Your country is relying on you now. Your family and friends are relying on you. We view you differently. We elevate you. We put you almost on a pedestal because you've earned it. Because in a country that we live in right now, less than 1% of the population joins the United States military. You are the best that our country has to offer, and you have achieved something that very few individuals ever will. BMT, this parade field right now, this is hallowed ground. The experience that you just had is unlike any other in the entire world. Lives are changed here. Family trees are forever altered. This is our version of Ellis Island. Had I not come through here, had my wife not come through here 7 months after I did, we never would have met. Your lives are on a completely different trajectory now, and it's exciting, and I'm proud of you. So I have just one question for you. Are you prepared to join the ranks of the world's greatest Air Force? Colonel Pixley, I think they're ready, sir.
Instructors, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Jeff Pixley will now administer the oath of enlistment.
Airmen, raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations, Airmen, and welcome to the world's greatest president.
Thank you, Colonel Jeff Pixley. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing while our graduates recite the Airman's Creed and for the departure of the official party. I am an American Airman.
I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American Airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American Airman, guardian of freedom and justice, my nation's sword and shield, its century and avenger. I defend my country with my life. I am an American Airman, wingman, leader, warrior. I will never leave an airman behind. I will never falter. I will not fail.
As a reminder, military members and veterans in uniform will stand at attention and render a salute as the U.S. flags pass. We ask that our civilian guests stand and place their right hand over their heart. Veterans and military members not in uniform may either render a salute or place their right hand over their heart. Once the flags have passed, please be courteous of others and be seated in order to allow all of our guests the opportunity to view the flights as they pass in review. As viewed from the bleachers, to the left of the reviewing stand, flights 704, 705, 708, 709, 710, 711, 712. And to the right of the reviewing stand, flights 713, 714, 7